Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Good, good, thank you. So, tell us about who are you? Why did you choose CMD Build?
Okay. My name is Michael Collins. I'm a product manager for Applied Science Incorporated, who is headquartered in Grass Valley, California. Um, Applied Science is one of the largest producers of blood donation devices in North America. They have substantial markets in Europe and Asia. And ASI's customers include some of the largest blood providers in North America. Um, they also produce ADEPT, which is an automated data process technology, which connects any medical device to an EMR system. Applied Science chose to work with Tecnoteca and CMD Build for a specific project. They needed to create a HemoFlow service portal. It's a service desk with very specific needs for our HemoFlow devices, our blood donation devices. Some of the requirements for this system is that for administrative users, we needed fine-grained permissions to control access to features. We have service providers, service managers, quality control reviewers, administration and finance, and we needed very fine-grained permissions for all of these people. For non-administrative users, we needed to filter our views of data in a hierarchical manner. We have primary distributors of our devices, secondary distributors, corporate customers, and franchise customers where the HemoFlow devices are used in the field. We needed advanced reporting for all users, both administrative users and non-administrative users. And CMD Build had a great reporting system because we have lots of data going in there and lots of different people at different levels that needed to see the data. We also needed room to grow as our business model changed. ASI is growing, and as companies grow, their business model needs to change. Their business model will change, and as it changes, our solution needs to change with us. We felt that the CMD Build architecture looked like it was built to accommodate growth in ASI's business. We spent quite a while researching other solutions to CMD Build. We found some solutions that worked well for the specific industry from which they came. However, customizations were based on this original model, wherever their software originated from. And if your business didn't match the original model, and ours is not a typical business, then while you could customize that model to work with your business, maintaining those customizations through software updates would be time consuming and costly. We found other software solutions that were very customizable and could work for any situation. However, their licensing models were based on the number of user accounts. They did not distinguish admin users from non-admin users. And ASI has a limited number of admin users. There's a handful of people in the company that need to use our service desk. But there are hundreds and hundreds of companies that need to log in and see information, reports on their HemoFlow devices and their service and our service fixes to them. And CMD Build's licensing model was based on administrative users, not just the total number of logins. I can tell you we looked at one solution from IBM, IBM's Maximo, and calculated that their licensing cost would cost us about $200,000 per year based upon our user base. And that was just something that was out of our budget. CMD Build had the flexibility to customize our very specific workflows. So as I mentioned before, we have our companies have a number of different roles, and many of our companies have more than one role. And so we had to be able to customize workflows in very non-standard ways. And we felt that CMD Build was able to offer that level of workflow customization. Another very important factor for choosing CMD Build is that ASI is regulated by the FDA. And so all of our processes fall under certain quality control requirements, which includes audit trails. And CMD Build offered out of the box the ability to track the changes to every single record. And that was very important as well. One of the other reasons we chose to work with Tecnoteca was that Tecnoteca provided a variety of hosting support options. In our case, it was really important that we owned the server, but that Tecnoteca would provide all the support necessary to keep CMD Build up and running for us. And that was an option that they provided, and they were able to accommodate. So how has CMD Build worked for our project so far? CMD Build has worked great for the features specified at the beginning of the project. As I mentioned before, the hierarchy of companies to which we provide service is not simple. These companies have many roles, and frequently they have more than one role, resulting in complex relationships. CMD Build has been able to accommodate and express these complex roles and relationships to meet our ongoing business needs. Early on in the project, we modified some specifications. We realized that we needed to create quotes and service report PDFs as part of the process. And CMD Build was able to accept very specific PDF forms and dynamically integrate those PDF forms with data that we entered in the service desk. So that was great when the project changed slightly and we realized, oh, we need to do this thing too. And CMD Build was able to accommodate that. We've also been able to automate email sending of these automated PDF creations. So when we create quotes, we can automatically send those to our customers so that they can then approve the quotes and send us back a purchase order number or approve payment in some other way before we proceed. One of the surprises that came up during the project, so I mentioned earlier that ASI is growing, and as part of their growth, they've moved into using the Fishbowl Inventory system. And that's something that happened late in the project. So the Fishbowl Inventory system keeps track of all of their devices and their customers and their services and fixes. And it also integrates with their QuickBooks Enterprise finance package. And at some point, about 2/3 of the way through the project, ASI informed me that, oh, we need an integration. Our service desk needs to be integrated with Fishbowl Inventory. Because, you know, when they're fixing products, they're choosing parts to fix products. They're choosing parts by lot number and revision number and product number. And we have to track all of that and feed that back into Fishbowl Inventory. Fishbowl's API was not sufficient for the integration that we had to accomplish. And so we were kind of scratching our heads. We were able to establish a read-only ODBC connection between the HemoFlow service portal, which was based on CMD Build, and the Fishbowl Inventory system. And that was able to solve part of this integration problem for us. Through this ODBC connection, HSP can read all the data from Fishbowl Inventory. It knows about our customers, their billing and shipping addresses, each customer's role, or roles in many cases, and their relationships to other customers. CMD Build knows how to specify parts used for repairs by lot number and revision number. It's able to track inventory for parts on hand and parts required for the service desk. It's also able to track the quantity used for each part used by the service desk. the current prices for repairs, service, and shipping, so that HSP may automate the generation of quote PDFs and automatically email those quotes to customers. As a result, one of the other side of this integration was that we had to generate a sales order export file for Fishbowl Inventory, so that all the parts that were used in a sales order get exported in a very specific format specified by Fishbowl Inventory. So we can export all of our sales orders, grab a CSV file, stick it over on Fishbowl, and import all of the sales order information resulting from those service desk fix-it tickets. So now we have a CMD Build instance, our HemoFlow service portal, that's integrated with Fishbowl Inventory and which is also integrated with QuickBooks Enterprise. So our service desk, inventory system, and finance system are now all integrated together. So that is a big win for applied science, is they're moving from paper-based and Excel files as a way of keeping track of things to a more unified system of keeping track of all their information in a more archival format. So in summary, I'd say we spent a long time evaluating all possible solutions. I probably spent 3 to 6 months researching all the available solutions that were out there that were right for applied science for a company of their size and budget and needs. And after all that time, we came up with CMD Build as the best possible option for our needs. CMD Build has continued to grow with our changing business needs, and applied science continues to plan future growth and automation around CMD Build. Tecnoteca has been a valued strategic partner. I'd like to give a shout out to Alessandro and Valeriu and Onyx for all the people that have been supporting us through this quite challenging project that is now just winding up, and it looks like it's going to be very successful. So thank you guys for all your support. Tecnoteca has been a valued strategic partner, and they are very dependable, and we rely upon their experience and insight. So, and that's been our project, and it's been a great experience so far.
Thank you. Now, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Valerio, and I worked on the project that Michael just talked to us about. And I'd like to tell you about some challenges that we had along the way. So one of the challenges was to work on a project, on a custom project in a non-IT field, like the one described here in the medical field. And because many of our projects are in a format, in a ready-to-use format, while this one is a pure CMD build one, a custom build from scratch. Another challenge was to integrate the Fishbowl with the system. Fishbowl is a broad system that offers a lot of functionalities, and we had to integrate both systems in a bi-directional way. CMD Build communicates with Fishbowl and the other way around. To do that, we implemented a sales order export function, which Michael talked to us in his presentation, and I personally worked on that, and it was quite exciting. And now I'd like to ask Michael if he has any future projects.
Oh yeah, so as I said before, things have gone well with CMD Build and Tecnoteca. So people at ASI are thinking a lot about other features we may implement as time goes on. So one of the things that we're thinking about doing, maybe in a few months or so, is so we have an ODBC pull from an ODBC read-only pull. HSP or CMD Build pulls from Fishbowl and updates all of our records. But no matter what we do, the changes may be made to the quantities of parts on the service desk. And so it's possible that between the time a service ticket is created, a part is used, and the sales order is exported back to Fishbowl, that parts might have been adjusted, and that part might not any longer exist in Fishbowl Inventory. Its parts on hand has been reduced to 0. Maybe there's a 3 or 4 hour delay between when they did a fix-it, chose a part, and then imported the sales order ticket. So one of the things we're thinking about is, could we create a tighter integration on ODBC just for the parts inventory, so that we could somehow create an event or something, so that if when they choose the part, we get an immediate update of the available parts inventory. What do you think about that?
So right off the top of my head, a solution could be to use a form trigger that would execute an event. For example, when a part is created, it could execute an event to tell Fishbowl that a part was created, and from the other side, we could, from the Fishbowl side, we could, using a web service, a custom web service, we could trigger an event to tell CMD Build that a new part was changed, and in that case, CMD Build would start a synchronization, maybe right when somebody opens the parts selector or something like that. So it's going to be a tighter integration and a better synchronization.
Yeah.
So any other?
Yeah. So I can see this is probably more of a medium than a short-term solution, but I can see that. So as we're growing, as ASI is growing, they've established a contract with a very large blood donation company, and it's increased their production capacity by 2 to 3 times their normal production capacity. And the service desk is really needing to be streamlined. We're able to send emails automatically from the HemoFlow service portal, and our service provider, service manager, is really busy. So he probably has about half of his emails going back and forth are related to specific work requests regarding to fixing HemoFlow devices. And we can send emails out. It would be great if we could separate all of his service desk related email from his non-service desk email, and keep all of that contained in the HemoFlow service portal. So if there was some way that he could not only send emails, but receive emails, and have all of those emails available not only in the work request, but also like an email box for the service provider. So he could see, okay, we've got, instead of having to go into each work request to see if there's a new email, to have an inbox in CMD Build to be able to see, oh, I've got 25 new emails from 25 work requests, and they're just all lined up, and I can see what I've replied to and what I haven't replied to, like that. Do you think something like that could be possible?
Yes, a neat solution that I came up now with is to create a class that stores all these emails. And maybe in this class we could store like the requester, who sent it, the time, if this mail was related to a ticket or not, if it was read, if it's a reply or anything like that. So in this case, he could filter out all the emails based on the customers, on the HemoFlow and devices that a request is using, or even by the some flags like read emails, sent emails. So yes, I think that's a feasible request. Yes.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, so far it seems like, whatever we come up with, whatever we're changing, and they just keep changing stuff. It seems like, Tecnoteca and CMD Build has been able to accommodate our changing business model. So that's something I really appreciate, and not something I always expect from other companies. So we look forward to continuing to work with you guys and CMD Build into the future as we grow and as our business continues to change.
We also are looking forward to working with you. We had a great time working on this. For me personally, it was a fun project. I liked it and still like it. And,
we're keeping you busy and giving you things to think about.
Yes. Yes. On new solutions and how to solve the new challenges. Yes.
Yes.
So it's been a great time with you guys.
Yes, thank you, and yes, we've enjoyed working with you guys too.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. See ya.
Goodbye.